Okay, so Lily says, Ian, as a black man, are you afraid of the police? I mean, honestly, yes, yes. I mean, I think almost anybody who's black in America, you definitely are raised to be afraid of the police, right? I mean, uh, like for example, let's say if the police pulls me over, I mean, I know not to escalate things, right? Like, I will be the politest person ever when I get pulled up. I mean, I have been pulled over by the police, and I'm always polite, always respectful. But I also do understand people who, I mean, because everyone is different, right? People have been raised differently. I mean, me myself, I mean, as a kid, my parents always told me, "Hey, like, don't get in trouble, like, like, because we know that that's a risk, right? Just by being black in America, we know that. Hey, I mean, like for example, now we're kind of really getting more deep into things. I haven't really shared with much, right? But I feel like the way the climate is, these are things that kind of have to now be discussed, right? Because you guys know I always keep things very honest and transparent with you, right? Like, I mean, there are times when I go into a store, right, and I get followed around because I look like somebody who's not really meant to be there, if that makes sense, right? Or there are times where just by walking next to somebody, like typically a female, they'll just clutch their purse, right? So things like that also do happen to me, right? So I'm definitely not like immune to them per se, right? So things like that definitely do happen to me, and it's definitely something that's not one of the more positive things of being black in America, right? It's I guess it's something in a way I've kind of just always brushed aside as just kind of, hey, that's just some crazy person or whatever, right? But I mean, those things definitely do happen to me, and I think as a result, because I know of some people's either prejudices or where they were raised or whatever, right? So for example, the story that happened with Amy Cooper, right? The female who was walking her dog, and a black man basically told her to put the dog on a leash, and she basically called the police and said basically a bunch of lies, right? But because everything was filmed on camera, the whole world kind of saw what happened, right? I mean, so situations like that, like my family has always told me to always be cautious of things like that, right? Obviously, we now live in a time and age where things are kind of different. I feel like having smartphone cameras and Twitter and social media has changed everything, which in a way is kind of good because now more justice can be done, right? But quite frankly, in a way, it does cause people like me in a way to kind of be paranoid when out and about in society, right? To kind of have our guards up because we know anything we do or say may be misinterpreted, right? Or right. So because of things like that, in a way, we definitely do walk on eggshells sometimes, right? So and I have lots of stories myself, but I don't really want to get too much off topic, but because you brought that up, right? So when it comes to dealing with police with law enforcement, I think really you can't escalate things, right? Because of that, right? Kind of knowing, having all that context, you cannot really escalate things. You have to almost be on your P's and Q's and be super polite because you know that one simple slip up, and I mean, for example, like I know, like if I get pulled over and I do something, like one thing I know is I won't talk back to the police. Even if I believe they're wrong, I will not talk back to it, because especially if it's late at night, because who knows, something could just trigger something, and next thing you know, you're getting shot, right? So I mean, quite frankly speaking, that is something I myself also do think about, right? But the way I resolve it is by trying not to escalate, right? One thing, I mean, obviously, I can't speak for every black person out there, but I think one of the issues I do see is people, like, let's say somebody's getting arrested, like let's say a black man is getting arrested. I would not talk back or try to escalate anything with the police, even if they're wrong. I mean, obviously that's what lawyers are for, but obviously not everybody who's poor or disenfranchised has access to good lawyers. So I think that that's part where the system is broken, right? So because if you're getting assigned a lawyer by the court that's working like 1,000 other people and only has like 10 minutes for you, you obviously won't get the best representation, right? So I think one better way forward is really maybe helping give better pro bono legal support or guidance to people who are being improperly arrested or what have you, right? But to answer your question, yes, I mean, I myself also do feel scared, but that's, I guess in a way, that's why maybe I'm a homebody. I mean, I don't know, right? But all I know is whenever I see the police, I zip my mouth. I don't talk back. I say yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Right? I mean, I would say this is really more, and I think something actually. I read a book about spies. I think I forget which book it was. I know I'm kind of getting off topic here, but basically it said that when you're in a dangerous situation, you don't escalate it, right? You try to de-escalate it, right? And I think by raising your voice, by speaking up, by trying to use force, all this causes things to escalate even more. Now, obviously, I don't know what happened to George Floyd per se, right? But whatever happened to him was definitely wrong, right? But I think, yeah, I mean, things are definitely insane, and as you all can see, it does kind of leave me speechless, right? Because there's so many different things going on, and it's kind of tough to kind of talk about everything. All right. Anything to add to that, Bill?
Sure. So I can't necessarily relate to the bevy of stories that you have, although talking back to the police, especially in Texas, is not a good idea, regardless of your race. That I can tell you. Okay. So as a middle-aged Caucasian man, and with the president of the United States, a middle-aged Caucasian man, people like me can be pretty popular with the protesters. Like they could see me. This has occurred to me. Like they see me, just a middle-aged Caucasian man, and I'm sort of like the new bad guy. Crypto world, I'm the good guy, but on the street, I could be deemed the new bad guy. So I'm getting a taste of, the types of things that, you and other people have gone through, and, it doesn't feel good. Right. And I'm sure people, when they want to throw a brick through a window, if that's gone on their whole life and now they don't have a job, maybe the brick goes through a window, maybe the brick gets thrown at somebody else. So I can understand and empathize with people boiling over here is my point.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good thing you bring up, right? People who don't have jobs. I mean, I think if we fix the economy, most of these issues will go away, right? I feel like all this is really bubbling up because people don't feel like there's a way out, right? And I think if you give people hope of a way out, then most of these issues will be resolved. Obviously not everything, but a lot of these issues will be resolved, right? Then a primary source says, there are plenty of instances on video where the cops escalate the situation themselves to get the outcome they want. Yes, I mean that's totally true, right? That's totally true. But I mean, at that point, there isn't really much you can do, unfortunately. I mean, I hate to say it, but there isn't really much you can do, right? I think the best example was I saw a reporter who got arrested live on camera. I think it was on a bunch of different news sites. And I think the way he reacted, where he just kind of was polite and just had the police arrest him. They took him obviously to jail, whatever. Then I think the next day he was let go. I think honestly that's the best thing you can do to kind of respond. I don't think escalating things further, even if you're right, is the way forward, right? Especially in situations like that. Okay, somebody's saying that we should go to the protest and hold a buy Bitcoin. F the Fed sign. Okay.
I think that's a great idea. I think that guy was like, that sign I said that, can you print my dinner?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And then a comment from To the Moon Crypto. They're saying, sorry, Bill. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Stay safe out there, Bill. We definitely need you.
thank you.
I mean, I think crypto family here is strong. No matter what race you are, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, whatever. I mean, we all have crypto family here, and I think that's what brings us together because we all come from different walks of life. Yet we're here doing a global show. Not just an American show, a global show. But obviously, things are happening, right? Okay, with that being said, let's get back to crypto.